What is going on to all my lovely Cancers? Butch here. I am going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. With all that being said, I'm going to use the Tarot of Dreams. So let's get it. Universe, what message do we have for Cancers? What can we see for Cancers? Okay, Cancer. So, first and foremost, I do feel like there's a very familiar energy with this person, and I feel like this is someone you have a history with. And I feel like this person's been thinking a lot about you lately. I feel like this person feels as though they're missing something, they're feeling dissatisfied. We have the Four of Cups, kind of feeling this energy of they're just not happy. And I feel like this person has been missing the shit out of you. This feeling of nostalgia, this feeling of, they made a mistake. I feel like this person, they're really regretting the mistake that they made, and I feel like the mistake that they made is letting you go in one way, shape, or form, letting you go. Now, for some of you, this can be someone you're still kind of dealing with. For others, I feel like it is a past connection. I feel like this person, one thing with this person is I don't feel like you ever truly knew how they felt about you, or I don't feel like they were ever truly completely honest with you about their true feelings for you. With the Seven of Swords, I feel like they kept things from you. And with the Moon card, I feel like their imagination was playing tricks on them. I feel like this person, I just don't feel like you ever knew how much this person truly cared about you. And it may come as a surprise me telling you this, but I feel like their feelings scared the shit out of them. They had a hard time trusting their own feelings when it came to you. But like I said, I feel like they're seeing things. I feel like this person has grown a lot. I feel like they've gone through a lot of big changes. And one of the things that hasn't changed is their feelings toward you, but their reaction to those feelings have changed. Okay, I'm gonna cover this guy's butt because I don't want to get this video flagged. But with the Hangman, they're seeing things differently, a lot of things differently. I feel like this person's finally ready to put their life in order. And one of the things they need is you. This person knows what they want. I feel like they've freed themselves. I feel like they're finally freeing themselves of all those negative thoughts and all those things that were holding them back. Like I said, right person, wrong time is the energy I'm getting here. I feel like this was the right person. I feel like you were the right one for them. And I feel like they knew it, but they just couldn't accept it. But what I do see is I feel like that is about to change. I feel like this connection that you have with this person is eternal. I feel like you embraced that. I just don't feel like they did. And I see this person making a comeback. This person wanting to come back. They want to come home. They want to come to you. And I feel like they're going to open up the communication with you. And I mean, not only it's not just the physical that they miss. It's not just the connection that they miss. I mean, I feel like they miss your friendship. They miss that bond that they have with you. And I feel like you did have an incredible bond. But like I said, if we're not both willing to give to it, we're not going to see the full benefit of it. What I see is someone putting in a lot of work to come back to you. And I feel like that work doesn't stop and just coming back. I feel like this person wants to establish that trust with you. Let you know that you can trust them, that they're not like they used to be. Like I said, I see a lot of big changes in this person. Their energy has completely changed. I feel like they're finally ready to give to this and nurture it and not fight it. But their feelings are real. Their feelings for you are real, and they want something real from you. They're not just coming back to get back with you just to have the same shit different day. They're coming back with a real goal of cementing this connection. With the Hierophant, they want something real. They want to commit to it completely. We have the Hierophant, that strong union. And like I said, this person isn't coming back just for nostalgia. They're not just coming back to do what they did again. I feel like this person's ready to commit fully, wholeheartedly. And I feel like it starts with honesty. It starts with an open and honest communication, like I said, with that Eight of Swords, or Eight of Wands, that open communication. And the Queen of Swords, I just feel like this person knows they have no other choice but they are fearing it. They're fearing that you're not going to take them back. They're fearing that you're not going to believe them. They're fearing, there's so much anxiety in this person. This is not easy for them. But they're going to do it anyway. I see this person being completely truthful with you and telling you everything. The things they didn't tell you before, the things they want to tell you now. They don't want it like it was before. They don't want to just return to a place of that. They want something more from this. This person's coming back, and they want to grab on and hold on to you. They miss you. I mean, I see a lot of happiness. I see this person truly turning over a new leaf, and I see this person and a huge amount of changes. This person's really kind of turned themselves around. But like I said, the missing piece is you, and I feel like their biggest regret is letting you go without telling you before. And like I said, for some of you, this may be a relationship you're still somewhat part of, and we grow. And I feel like sometimes even in a relationship, we have these moments where we just realize what we have. And sometimes we don't realize it in time, and sometimes we don't realize it when maybe it would be the best timing. But I feel like they are realizing it. They made some huge mistakes, and that's the regret. The regret is ever making that mistake, but the only thing they can do now is move forward. And like I said, I mean, this person wants to make a commitment to you. And they want to prove to you that they are committed. That they're here for you. That they will be here for you. Like I said, I don't feel like you ever truly knew how this person felt. You may have felt an energy from this person, but this is just confirmation. This is this person, like I said, letting go of what was holding them back. A lot of times in relationships, past and present, we haven't healed ourselves to a point where we can let things go, and it takes time. I feel like this person's done a lot of healing, and for some of you, it may be quicker healing than others, but I feel like they've come a long way. But what stays the same is who they want next to them. I mean, if you think this person doesn't love you, you're about to find out that that is absolutely not true. I see someone that does love you. I see someone that loves you more than you could possibly even imagine. And I don't feel like this person's giving up. They're here to prove it to you, whatever it takes, to establish that trust. Like I said, that open communication, finally being open about their feelings. Feelings may not be this person's strong suit. I mean, what I'm seeing a lot of energy in this person, and I don't feel like opening up is necessarily their strongest suit. But they're trying, they're learning. For others, this may be someone that, like I said, this can be a past relationship where it failed because this person didn't give. I always use that metaphor of being in a rowboat and you both have an oar and you're both, you both need to be in sync in order to move forward. And if one of you is moving the wrong way or not moving at all, you're just going to go around in circles. What's clear is you had something special with this person, whether they were willing to admit it or not, or whether they were willing to nurture it or not. I feel like that's changing. This person's seeing things in a different perspective, and who they see next to them is you. Who they want next to them is you. And for some, it's easier to admit than others. I mean, sometimes we make mistakes and it's hard to admit that we made those mistakes because, for some it is a pride thing. For others, it's just hard to be completely honest. But what I see with this person is that they are going to be completely honest with you. And the more they open up, the more they accept this, the further we can go. I see a long and happy future with this person. Now, for some of you, this person may have made mistakes that they can't ever fix. This is just a message I'm seeing. It's not telling you what to do, or, because some situations can be worse than others. So take that into consideration. But like I said, with this person, I get a lot of fire and we're getting a lot of air as well. But we have that water in there as well. There is that part of them that I don't feel like they truly ever opened up with anyone. And I do feel like that opening up with you. We have Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We have Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. We have Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. I feel like we have everything except Virgo. We have Taurus and Capricorn as well. Sometimes the hardest thing for people to admit is how they truly feel. To those they truly feel those feelings for. Especially if you're not necessarily emotionally open. The right person's going to come along to open you up. Now, it's not going to be instantaneous for some people. Some people meet the love of their life and they still have a hard time expressing themselves to that person. But for that person, they will try. And that's the person that will eventually see that side of them. It takes patience in some cases. Like that old saying, Rome wasn't built in a night. In my opinion, there is a point where you have to meet each other in the middle. And sometimes people are just a little bit slower to get to the meeting point. But if it's worth it, and as long as you're willing to try, it's the ones that don't want to try. It's the ones that give up too easy. It's the ones that don't give us what we need, even though they have it in abundance to give us. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to be with someone loves you, but just somehow knowing isn't always going to be enough. Some people just don't get us right away. It doesn't mean they're not perfect for us. It just means they haven't put in the effort. And as long as you put in the effort, one of the things that I remember my grandfather used to always tell me, if you give it 100% and you fail, you can never look back with regret. It's when you give it 80 or 60 or 50 or 20 and you fail. One day you're going to look back and say, I never gave it at all. So how do I know? Anyway, that's what I have for you. Be good. Take care. Stay safe.